welcome back. Today we continue to look at John Calvin's book, Institutes of the Christian Religion. Calvin is talking about the Christian life, how to live the Christian life, and in this section he talks about bearing your cross. And what he's talking about here then is the difficult times that come to us when we live the Christian life. And many of you, if you've been a Christian for very long, have known the hardships that you faced because you are a Christian. And this reality is really common to Christians. And if you are surprised by this, or are offended at this, or begrudge God about this, you are in for a long haul. And what Calvin says is, look, these hard times will come. You will have to bear your cross and follow me, and you need to learn to trust me in this. And so we are learning to trust the Lord in these hard times. And one of the things that Calvin says that we see and we learn in these hard times is about God's power and our weakness. We do well to come to the end of our abilities, to come to the end of us being able to get ourselves out of any trouble. And we recognize usually by trying really hard and just wearing ourselves out, we eventually come to the point that, I thought I could handle any circumstance, and the truth is I couldn't. The truth is, even if I look back, it was the Lord all along who got me out, and He finally brought me to the place where I just recognized I was insufficient, but He is sufficient. And what a peace-giving reality this is. When we finally recognize we don't have to be omnicompetent. We don't have to be sufficient for everything. We just need to rest in the one who is sufficient. And then to know that His power is limitless and that He is working out His good plan in our life. So we have here just a real sense of our own weakness and a real leaning on the power of God that happens here. And so when we find ourselves bearing our cross and in a hard time, we need to learn to trust the Lord and to recognize that the Lord is working out good. We don't know all that God has in mind, but we can trust the character of our God and to trust that even in this hard time, He is working this for good. So what we see here is affliction. We see trouble. We see opposition. And we, as Christians, must learn to recognize that it is not that things are going wrong, that we're in a time of affliction. Things are just going the way that the Lord said it would go this side of heaven. This side of heaven, we're going to have trouble. And so He warned us about this, and we are in it. And when we're in it, we need to learn to trust Him through it. Again, in this context, Calvin reminds us of what the Bible teaches about the providence of God. You are in the situation that you're in because God is powerful, and God, for His good purposes, has you in a hard time. And we need then to resign ourselves to His good plan and to His good will and to rest in Him and to stop bucking against His plan for us, but to know He's working all things for good. And since He's working all things for good, we can rest in that. And so in this way, we not only rest in His power, we rest in His wisdom. When we bear our cross, we do both. We rest in a powerful God who could get us out, but has us in this for a good purpose, and the wisdom of God who is working things for our good, for His glory, for our eternal salvation. All these things are at work here, and so we rest in our Lord in the times in which we suffer and in the times in which we are bearing the cross that He's given us.